Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. Well, I want to tell you about my fishing yesterday. And I think here is the thing. Fishing gives us, and bear with me here because I think this is a huge point. Fishing gives all of us an opportunity to experience the world around us in ways that we might never be able to experience. So let's go back to my day fishing yesterday. And I had a good day, I guess. Most of the time I spent yesterday waiting, I didn't even have a strike. And then all of a sudden I started catching fish. And I'll talk about this on another report. But here is the glory of yesterday. Here's the thing that I really wanted to pass on. Is I finished my time of fishing and I've got full waders on, heavy waders, and I walk through the woods and I get to these areas on this pond that nobody's really fishing right now. And so I had come back and I'm exhausted and I'm crossing the waterway at the end, this little causeway that goes over, and I'm getting to go back to my car, and I look down and I see this head of something swimming in the water several feet away from me, maybe 100 yards away, coming towards me. And I'm thinking, that head looks a little too small to be a beaver. And it gets closer and closer, and all of a sudden the head comes out of the water. And the whole body comes straight up, and before I can really understand what I'm seeing, two other heads come out of the water near it, and those bodies go straight up. And when I'm saying straight up, they elevate themselves above the surface of the water. It's like they're sitting on their tails. And they're looking at me, and they're making a little sound to each other. They're basically talking to each other. And lo and behold, I'm looking at 3 otters. Now, I have fished this water for years, and never did I realize that there were families of otters on this water. And you never see them. And yet I got a chance to see them. And they were actually, I will say, talking about me, saying, look at that thing up there above us. Wonder what it is. Is it dangerous? Is it friendly? And I doubt if they have a friendly idea about them. But anyway, They didn't panic, they didn't leave, and they kept coming up out of the water. And if you've never seen otters do this, it's quite an experience. And how they would almost like rise out of the water and sort of float on their tail. It's an otter way of doing things. And then they decided, I guess we don't want him. They disappeared under the water. And so I'm standing there waiting to see where they're going to come up. Where are you going to come up? And nothing. And it seemed like 2 minutes or so went by. Nothing. And I'm thinking, how are they staying underwater and not breathing? And then lo and behold, way down the lake, I see a head come up and look back, see if I'm still there. The other 2 didn't come up. They were still underwater. But I reflected on this and I thought, wow. I thought my day's fishing was special, but now it is really special. Let me tell you another thing that happened just maybe a half hour before. As I came back to where I was going to start walking through the woods and was going to get out of the water, I come by this beaver hut where the beaver had constructed, and there's little runs that I even walk through because they've cleared the brush, the thick brush around the water, so that I have a way to get out of the water and back into the woods. And this beaver saw me, and it was having a fit because it knew I was coming near its home. And the closer I got, the more it kept swimming around and swim towards me. And then that big, huge tail would make this horrible sound on the surface to scare me away because that's what they're trying to do. And I'm thinking, okay, that beaver's really upset because I'm coming near its home. How upset is it going to get? Because that beaver was a big beaver, probably 60, 70 pounds. I mean, really big. And of course, he looked even bigger since he was defending his home. But this was the experience I was having yesterday. Over and above all my fishing, I was getting to share an environmental experience with 2 other beings that I was in their home. I had come and invaded their home, and neither one of them were too pleased with me being there. But that's one of the glories of being able to go fishing. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.